What's up, guys? We're back. I knew I was forgetting something. I forgot to put up my little preview video. That's what happens when I don't go live regularly. We got to get these shows. We got to get these shows more regular so that I'm on live every week. We don't even have a preview for Bikini this week, so we're doing wellness this week. What's up, guys? Say hello when you get on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Say hello. Type into the comments. Tell me where you're coming in from, where you're watching from, what you're excited to talk about today with our show preview. As always, we will give it a few minutes for people to get logged on. We always start about 3 minutes in or so. Hello, welcome. Yes, I like these to be very participation driven. So feel free to type in, say hello, ask questions. Hello from Daytona Beach, Canada. Where else we got? Who else is with us? We got Dallas from Canada. I like that. So if this is your first time joining, we do wait about 3 to 5 minutes or so for everybody to get logged on before we get started. So you can jump in and say hello. Tell me where you're coming from. We got Connecticut in the house. I always like to know where everybody's coming in from. And if you look up in the corner here with the QR code, scan on that. That is the link to our live feed for this weekend because I will be in person at the Sampson Showdown. We're going to preview the Sampson Showdown today. I am here in Vegas this weekend, so I'm going to go to the show and I'm going to stream it right here for you guys. It's a really good lineup for wellness. It's exciting because, in the last couple of years, the wellness lineups haven't been great, to be perfectly honest, at most of the shows. So it's nice to see some of the first shows of the season come out and actually be pretty decent. So I'm excited about it. For those of you that are on right now, like I said, before we get started here, we're going to start going through everybody in the next minute or two here. Tell me, I know we usually do bikini previews here. We don't have a Bikini Pro show, though, to talk about. So do you follow wellness as well? Do you follow it as closely as you do bikini? What are you most excited about for this weekend? What questions do you have for this weekend? Oh, awesome. Well, if you're there, Kelly, say hi. I'm going to be running around and just helping the other Fit Body Fusion athletes. I don't personally have any clients in the show, so I'm going to be streaming. We do have a brand new YouTube sponsor as well, which we will be launching this weekend. So make sure that you are paying attention for that because it's a pretty cool one. I'm excited about showing you guys about this one. Yeah, same. I'm excited for Thais as well. So yeah, we have Thais as one of the Fit Body Fusion coaches. She's also competing this weekend in the pro portion. So we will be talking about her in a minute. Probably shows a fan of the division. Look out for Marlena Patrizzi. Do I have her up on my preview? What I always do with these previews, guys, for those of you that are new here, if they have placed top fives in the past, then I have them on my preview. If they have not, then I don't. That doesn't mean that they can't place top five, just that they haven't. That's all. We have quite a few girls in this show this weekend that are doing like pro debuts and stuff like that. So there could be some people that we've just never seen on the pro stage yet come out and do very, very well. So that's something to keep in mind. Just because somebody has placed well in the past does not mean that they're going to continue to, and vice versa. So there, like I said, when we've got a bunch of pro debuts, it's going to be interesting to see how those play out for them. Let's see. Yeah, definitely say hi. I follow Bikini more, but love all of the show reviews, so I'll take what I can get. There you go. Yeah, I'll be honest. I follow both. I'm more in depth with Bikini just because that's kind of my main audience. Same thing with the clients that I work with. The majority of them are Bikini. Same thing with figure. I follow figure as well, but again, just more in depth with bikini because that's where the majority of my clients are. So I assume with Fit Model coming around with the pro shows next year, we will be following Fit Model probably quite a bit as well. I am going to be covering Fit Model with the national shows. So starting with the Pittsburgh Pro Show because they're going to have a pro qualifier there. So we'll start with that for Fit Model. I will not be covering Fit Model at the NPC shows. There's just way too much variability right now. Also, I just don't cover amateurs in general. Once you're a pro, that's different. You're fair game once you're a pro, but when you're an amateur, not so much. So we'll be covering, like I said, kind of going into some of these national shows to see how the direction of the division is going and things like that. But that's as far as we'll go this year with Fit Model. And the same thing when it comes to bikini. So bikini, we're going to be mostly covering like the US shows. Every once in a while, we'll cover some international shows just based on the competitors that are showing up. If we have some data on them, there's a lot of shows that are popping up now in like Asia and things like that, but we don't have a lot of data on the competitors. So it makes it difficult to actually critique anything. Plus, when we're talking about like photos and videos and stuff like that, a lot of times when they're overseas, we don't have the same kind of, media coverage that we do here in the States. Love this live. I follow bikini more, but I still love tuning in. Yeah, same. I was like, that's what I said. I was like, even though we do bikini mostly here, I was like, I want to talk about the show because again, I'm going to be there. So I want to. Are you going to? I'm not going to Girl Power. No, I'm not going to Girl Power. So in general, my show schedule this year is going to be more focused on pro shows that I'm going to be at more than anything else. For me and my channel, that is what does best. When it comes to clients, I do have clients and amateurs and things like that. So there will be some amateur shows here and there, but typically where you're going to see me is you're going to see me at shows that have an amateur and a pro portion. So if it doesn't have a pro portion to it, I probably won't be there. So this is how I'm kind of restructuring my my coverage this year, just based on analytics, based on, money coming in, all that kind of stuff. Because at the end of the day, the money coming in has got to equal or surpass the money that's going out, bottom line. And pros definitely bring in more than some of these other shows do. Just saying, they just do. So dollars and cents, you guys. I've said it several times. It all comes down to dollars and cents. So if I have clients, like I said, if I have clients in the show, I will likely be there if it's pro-am. That kind of thing. But like I said, this weekend, I'm going to be mostly just running around helping with the Fifth Body Fusion girls and doing live streams since it's right down the street from where I'm at here in Vegas. So works out pretty nicely. All right, guys, let's get into our preview for this weekend. What I was saying before was this is actually a really good pro list for wellness to start out the season. It's encouraging to see because, we've been talking about wellness the last couple of years and they've kind of been not the best lineups, just being honest. So we're getting better lineups now, which is great. So here's our list. There is Masters as well. So we've got the Open, but then we've got Masters 35 and 40 as well. And you can see we've got quite a few in the over 40 and over 35. That's something too, when we start to get into these divisions that have more muscle maturity, more muscle development, we see more Masters level competitors too, because it just takes longer to create that. You know what I mean? I wonder if I can make this any bigger. It says customize. Oh no, don't want to do that. All of a sudden I'm clicking on stuff. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. All of a sudden I'm going to lose the live stream. That maximize. I mean, that's not bad. We can do that. That might be better. Do you guys like that look better? I like having the chat overlay on there. That doesn't really obscure anything right now. So that's good. Junior USA, Junior Nationals, University USA's, North Americans, Nationals all have Fit Model. Right. Yeah, they do. But I'm not going to all of those. I'll go to a few of them. I'm not going to Junior USA's or Junior Nationals, potentially Universe, North Americans, and that's probably it. What else? Americans, yeah. Oh, and Masters, Nationals too. Those are the national shows I will likely be at because I go every year. We'll just see though. I'm gonna play it by ear. So again, as we get into this, that little QR code up the top, if you scan on that's the link to the scheduled live stream for this show. on my channel. Okay. So if you click on that and you just hit like notify me, you'll get a notification when I actually go live. The pros are on at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So you'll be able to watch right along. And if you've ever joined me for the lives that I do at the shows, I do talk right along with you. You can comment in, ask questions, all those kinds of things. I do like it to be interactive. This particular show, we can stream the stage. So that's a good thing too. So we'll do all of that. We'll do all of it. So looking at this list, who you got? Before we go through the people that I have picked out, type into the comments. Let me know who you think is going to take home the win here. As I mentioned, we do have several ladies here that are doing pro debuts. They've not competed yet. So we don't know what they're going to look like yet on the pro stage. I mean, we could have somebody that comes in here as a dark horse and just runs away with it. But the ones that I've pulled up to actually preview are the ones that have placed, top 5 in open classes over the last year or two. So type it in. Let me know who you got. Who's your top 2, top 3, top 5? Give me your names before we go through. And while we're waiting, I want to give a shout out to our current YouTube sponsors, who are Liquid Sun Rayz. Their discount code is Cuties15, and also Prozis, and their discount code is Cuties10. So if you need your supplements, go to Prozis. If you need your tanning, go to Liquid Sun Rayz, and you get your discount. Mary, Cass, and Sandra. Why am I not seeing Mary? Who am I thinking? Oh, okay. Gotcha. I think, is she a pro debut? Did I pull her up? I need to look at that real quick. Let me stop sharing for a second. I want to see if I pulled her up or not before I go through and reveal my picks. I don't know if I pulled her up or if I didn't. Didn't. So I didn't pull her up. Did she have any good placings? Did I miss her? I know I plugged her in, but I don't know. I don't have her in my previews. So let me see. I'm wondering. Oh, I know why. Because when I went through to pull her up, there's 3 different entries for her name. And I think I wasn't sure which one was her. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, I got her up now. Yeah, I think they spelled her name wrong. That's what it was. I pulled up the entries and I wasn't sure which one was her. Okay, I got her now. Cool. Okay, so let's start going through these. So again, what I did is I pulled up some of the girls that are placed, top 5. And now we have not seen many of these girls on stage this year. Some of them did compete in the Arnold, so we do have some current data. But if they haven't competed yet this year, then we don't really know what kind of package they're going to bring. So we have to say everything with like a caveat. So we're going to base our assessments on their most recent photos that we have on NPC News Online. Could be completely different once they actually step on stage. And again, we do have pro debuts showing up. So there could be somebody that just comes in and takes away the whole thing. Just don't know. There's several girls on here that have taken really good long off seasons. So they may look completely different when they get on stage now, but we'll see. So the first one I have up here is Joy. So Joy, I know Joy very well. If you do know her, she's just a ton of fun. She did go to the Olympia in 2022, has not competed since. She's been off season since then. I believe she started, if I'm not mistaken, in figure. I could be wrong on that, but I believe it was figure that she started in. Let's see. Try and find a good picture here. Her biggest issue was she was just top heavy in comparison to her bottom. So legs are good and all that kind of stuff, but her glutes definitely needed some work. She's been off stage again for 2 years, over 2 years. So she could be bringing a completely different package this time around. But she did win a show that took her to the Olympia at that time. Let me see if I can let's see if I can make this bigger. There we go. Cool. I learned something new on this live stream. Fantastic. So yeah. So we can look out for her for sure. Let me find a back shot for her. I'm curious to see what kind of improvements she's brought. 2 years is a long time to be off stage, and a lot of work can be done during that time. So, plus she's just a lot of fun. So I always root for people like that. Let me go ahead and pull up the back shot. There we go. So you can see here that clearly she just needs some more glutes in general. She just needs some more density, more pop. Again, the legs aren't bad at all. She just needs more of the glutes, more projection, more size, more everything. Conditioning is good, but she just needs to pop everything a little bit more so that she can be competitive with these with the actual wellness standards. Again, I believe she came from figure, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure she came from figure. So she reformed her physique in order to come into wellness. So she's definitely one to be paying attention to here. Let me pull up the next one. Next is Thais. Share. There we go. So I don't know. I wish it would stay on that maximize screen, but there we go. We got it. All right. So Thais just turned pro last year. She did make her pro debut and everything already, and she did place in the top 5. So got off stage, is making more improvements as far as size, things like that is concerned. I believe, I could be wrong on this, I believe her feedback was she needed more glutes and that she needed to fix her back pose because I think she was bending over a little bit too much. That could have been her pro win feedback, but I know that was her feedback at one point. So expect to see her come in with more size, more shape, more fullness, more conditioning, all of the things. But also this is her, second pro show. So the fact she came in and made a top 5 placing at her pro debut is pretty damn good to start with. Let's see if we can find a back shot. I actually really like the flow of Thais's physique. And to be honest, in this lineup, I think she could do pretty well. We don't have overly large girls in this lineup. And so I think she's going to compare pretty well. Yeah, I think she just overall needed more size just in general, more density, more thickness to the muscle, that kind of thing, in order to get everything to really pop a lot. But this is a really good showing again for her pro debut. So, and she's been off stage since then, making improvements. So expect to see just an enhanced version, a bigger, thicker, denser version of her. And I don't know what other shows she's planning on doing this year, but I'm assuming this is just her, her first warm-up show, which is going to continue to go from there. So she's one to be paying attention to. And then we have Sandra. So Sandra did just place in the Arnold. Now I'll say this, I was there at the Arnold and I saw her in person. I was not as impressed with her this year as I was last year. Last year, I thought her package was a bit better. This year, I thought she was a little bit almost sucked down, if that's a good term to use. She needed more fullness, more pop. Her conditioning she was conditioned. She just wasn't filled out enough. Let me show you her front shot. So if she can just kind of get this physique to pop a little bit more, she's a little on the smaller side, again, when it comes to size. But if she can just get a little bit more fullness to this physique, it's going to really present a whole lot better. She's got a tiny waistline, really pretty overall look. But at the Arnold, I just felt like it was just lacking a little bit of something. But that's easily fixable by like changing, peaking strategies, things like that. So let me show you her back pose. Okay. So if you take a look at this, I don't know if you can see this. Now, also part of this is her posing. Her posing is not great here. Type into the comments. Tell me if you can see what is wrong with her posing before I say it. So I'll give you guys a minute or so to talk about this pose and why it's wrong. She just lacks pop here, right? She's just a little bit almost deflated. We talk about this a lot as far as like the difference between being a filled out grape and a shriveled up raisin. To me, this is a shriveled up raisin. If she could just get everything to pop and fill out a little bit more, she's got the muscle. It's just not popping. It's just not doing what it needs to do in order to show correctly. She looks like she's got some, impingements in her glutes and things like that. But really, I don't know if those are impingements so much as they are from her posing. So does anybody know what she's doing wrong here with her posing? I'm gonna give it a minute so you all have a chance to chime in if you want. It does, the chat's behind, so I have to give it a second. All right, I'm gonna start talking. We'll see if any of the notes come in. She's overdoing this pose by squatting down into it. Yeah, legs are too wide and too bent. Yep, she's squatting. Yep. So her legs are too wide. She does look like she's squatting and sitting into this. So what that does is a couple of things. It pulls the hamstrings really tight, which flattens everything out, right? It flattens out her hamstrings. It flattens out her glutes. It actually pulls on the top of the glutes. Like if you look at the top of the glutes on that photo, she's got some, look like I said, impingements there. I don't necessarily think those are impingements. I think it's more so she's being her legs, her quads, and her hamstrings are pulling on the muscle there and creating that. I think if she stood up, her glutes would probably fill out. Her glutes look really square right here. Okay, her glutes look really square. So I see this happen even in bikini. Girls squat or they bend over thinking that's helping their tie-ins come in and things like that. In reality, what it's doing is, again, it's taking away that fullness and that roundness that we need, right? It's taking away that grape look and creating a raisin look, right? And yes, I would agree that her feet are probably a little too wide here. They're a little wider than shoulder width, which tends to never be the right solution, especially when you're a smaller competitor. She's not a big competitor. So when you're a smaller competitor, putting your feet wider makes you look smaller. So I think there's a lot of things that could be fixed with her physique if she just fixed this back pose, to be honest. So we'll see. She has the potential of doing very, very well at the show. If she fixes some little minor things. These are not big things. These are minor things for her. Okay. And next we have Cassandra. So Cassandra has been a top 5 Olympian. She won the Arnold as well. I think it was last year, right? Was it last year or the year before she won the Arnold? Must have been the year before. Oh, no, they don't put the Arnold on here. That's right. Last year they didn't have the Arnold up on NBC News. So I don't know. Was it last year or was it the year before? I can't remember if it was which year it was. All these years start blending together. Cassandra did come from figure. So I feel like the whole time that she's been in wellness, she's been kind of fighting her genetics a bit. To me, she still looks like she could be a figure competitor quite a bit. Now, she's got fullness of muscle. She's got all that stuff, but it's just a difference in overall look, right? So I'm looking to see if I can get a good front pose here because she's kind of doing a weird one. Not weird one, but like a modified one. Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. Her front pose. All right, here's her front pose. So there's a few things that I would change with this front pose, right? Now, again, to me, I'm just going to be honest. It looks like she's a figure girl trying to pose like a wellness girl. Okay, she's got more fullness in her shoulders than she does in her quads. One thing I will say that she definitely fixed this year, she had some issues with her waistline in the past, and here it looks like it's a lot better as far as her flow through her core and everything looks a lot better. But again, when I look at her, I just think figure trying to pose like wellness. That's just what I think. Now, there's a few things she could do to fix this. She could fix this front pose. It's almost like she's like sitting back into it, almost like a modified fit model pose. But if she just stood up tall here, that would help her quads fill out, and she opened that knee up. Again, it would make her look a little bit bigger through the quads. So that way her quads would take over and not her upper body. Also, with the upper body, cover it with your hair. It's really simple way to bring those delts down and everything, make you look a little bit more unbalanced for wellness. Because right now, like I said, she looks like she's a figure competitor posing like a wellness girl, right? That's the first thing I think of when I see her. So there's just some little things she could do to make that present a little bit better. Well, if it's going to go through the photos. Yeah, it looks like relaxed figure pose. It does. Oh, there we go. MPC News is running a little bit slow, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to get it to speed up here so I can get to a back pose. It's just taking a little bit. Where is her back pose? Near. Got a lot of walking forward. A lot of front pose. Where's her back pose? You know, I'm thinking about this. I think this was the issue in her individual, actually, at the Arnold. Now that I'm thinking about it, it took her a long time to actually hit her back pose. If she did at all, I don't see any photos. I'm going through all of her pictures right now, and I'm on page 6, and I still don't have a back shot. And this is finals. There we go. We got one. Okay, finally found one. I don't know if they just missed it during prejudging or what. Okay, there we go. Okay, so another part of this too, her conditioning was too tight. She's just too hard through the back. I mean, she's too hard from the front too. But again, when I'm looking at this, I'm not seeing very good balance, right? I think she's got decent glutes, but her legs are not balanced with her glutes. And then we have no calves either. So the whole lower body to me, again, this looks like a figure lower body. It does not look like a wellness lower body to me. So I think what's happening is as these competitors are getting better, the wellness competitors in the division is getting better, she's kind of getting edged out by girls that have the genetic shape better than she does. She's worked hard, so don't get me wrong. But again, when your genetics are fit for one division versus another, somebody who's working just as hard as you and their genetics fit the division better are going to surpass you. And I feel that that's what's happening with Cassandra. If I was her, I'll be honest with you, I think I would probably try to go back to figure. I mean, I just do think that she's trying to fit a square peg into a round hole at this point. And I'm not saying she doesn't look good. That's not what I'm saying at all. But when you go from being in a top 5 at the Olympia, you know, and your placings are dropping, but your physique is technically looking better. I think her physique actually is getting better. I just think everybody's surpassing her faster. So to me, while some people look at her resume and say she would be the front runner going into the show, I don't think she is. A lot has happened to the wellness division in the last 2 years. And to be frank, I think she should go back to figure. I think she's trying to fit her body where it doesn't actually fit. That makes sense. Anybody agree with me? Because again, I don't think she's doing anything wrong. I just think her genetics aren't the same genetics as a lot of these other girls that are getting on stage. All right, so I have Nicole up next. So she was second at Houston. So we have her here. See if I can find a front pose for her. There's a front pose right there. All right, the lighting on these pictures is really, really bad. So that's the first thing. Okay, so she has taken second place. So I did pull her up. Again, going back to, this looks like a modified figure physique. It does not look like it's fit specifically for wellness. I think some of it is her posing, but I also think some of it is her overall shape. Waistline is pretty thick here. So, I mean, that can be fixed with more added size. However, if she's going to add more size, she's going to start looking even more so like a figure competitor. My suggestion, to be honest with you here, if I was her, I might consider doing women's physique. I don't think she's wide enough through the lats in order to do figure successfully, to be honest, because she does have some fullness in her quads and things like that. But that waistline is going to hurt her in figure. So she might be better off just trying to go up to women's physique. She can clearly get conditioned. I think if she added a little bit more size onto her upper body, she would probably be pretty competitive in women's physique right here. Let's take a look at her backside and see what her backside looks like. Yeah. So when we look at her glutes, I stand by what I just said. There's her back shot. So while she has some decent lower body, it's not balanced like it needs to be for wellness. She doesn't have the fullness up top of her glutes. She doesn't have the roundness in the glutes she needs to have. But if she was to pose this differently, add a little bit more size onto her delts, I think she could do really, really good in women's physique. Now, we haven't seen her on stage this year, so who knows? Maybe she has actually improved and she looks better. Conditioning is way too hard here as well. I think that, again, this lends more to women's physique conditioning. I think her overall shape is more women's physique. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. But I think I mean, and again, this depends on how her body has developed since she's been off the stage. But personally, looking at her, I would say go ahead and add a little bit more size to your upper body and go to women's physique. This could be a really pretty physique in women's physique as far as her fullness of her muscle bellies, even with the conditioning that she has. I think you pose her a little bit differently. She'd be really good. And part of that does have to do with just her structure in general. I think her structure would lend better to women's physique. I don't know what you mean about bikini in reference to what. So kind of expand on that because I don't know what you mean. She's definitely not bikini, if that's what you're asking. If you're asking if she's bikini, no, she's definitely not bikini. Definitely not. I would rather see her go add a little bit more size, keep the conditioning, and go to women's physique. Next up, we do have this is Mari. Is that her name? And yeah, they have her on NBC News Online under three different names. She would need to lose size in general for bikini. She's got too much muscle for bikini, way too much muscle for bikini. We're not talking about Mari. We're talking about Nicole. Nicole is way too big for bikini. Sorry. That's why I'm saying she needs to, if she wants to, I think where her physique would shine best would be women's physique because she can clearly get the conditioning and she's got still fullness to her muscle bellies. So I think if she was to just add a little bit more size up on top, I think she would fit women's physique really well. No, she's way too far past the line for bikini. Way too far past. She would look like, it'd be like putting a linebacker next to like a soccer player, completely different. No. I would 100% push her up versus down. Okay, Mari. And again, she has like she's under three different names here on NBC News Online. So take note, this is what her most recent show, I believe this is her most recent show is under. So we're just gonna take a look at this one. She did win this show. Let's take a look at her front pose. Okay, here's a front pose for you. So she's got a really good shape for wellness. She's got that fullness in the quads. And again, looking at this one in comparison, like to the two last girls that we were just talking about, this is wellness shape. She has a little bit of fullness on her upper body, but her lower body is the focal point, right? I believe she needs to be better conditioned. We need to see a little bit more cuts in those quads here from the front. She's a little too soft. So she needs to come down a couple more pounds or so. Not a lot, just enough to bring in a little bit more conditioning there. But her upper body looks more like it's along the lines of being a bikini competitor, which is what it should be for wellness. The upper body should not be the focal point. Whereas like we were talking about with Cassandra, the upper body is 100% the focal point for her. Okay. So this is more of a wellness structure than the last two girls we were just talking about. And let's take a look at the back shot. Let's see how the conditioning looks. Okay, here's her back shot. So I stand by what I said before. She needs to be better conditioned. She's got some imbalances in the back as well. If you see that, she's sitting into her left hip. So look at how much longer her right tie-in looks versus her left. That's all imbalances in the back. She's got to get that worked out with body work. It can be fixed through body work. But she's got some imbalances back here, and she's just not tight enough through those hamstrings. Her glutes look a little bit square to me as well. So I think she needs to add more size to her legs so that she can get the conditioning without looking too square, right? That's definitely something she could have done in this off season so that she could be bringing that. It could look better for sure. Tanning is really bad here too. We're seeing a lot of splotchiness with what it looks like is glaze. It's pretty distracting. But again, the structure of her overall shape is wellness versus the other girls. Okay. Suit fit is terrible. Guys, wellness girls are the worst ones when it comes to this. You see this on a lot of the wellness girls. We've seen it on a few of them that I've just showed you today. When that suit goes all the way up the tailbone like that, we see the shallow spots on the top of their glutes there. And that just really takes away from the roundness of the glutes. If your suit is sitting up that high, you need to pull it down. So you need to pull it down from the back and up in the front. Adjust this so that it sits there and actually frames your glutes versus shows those shallow spots. So there's some posing errors here. There's some conditioning errors here, and there's some suit errors here. Those are all fixable because her structure, her muscle is there. Again, I would like to see more size on her legs in general. That would help with the conditioning. But again, because her structure is wellness, she could do it, right? She was told she was too small. I could see that. Like she needs more density. Like that's what I'm saying. She needs some more physical size to her legs, but she also needs more density so that she can get better conditioned and not lose that size, right? So I know for a lot of people that are getting into the sport, these different language things are confusing sometimes. She just needs overall size in her legs. Yes, she's too small, but she needs that thickness to the muscle as well so that she can get better conditioned and keep the size, okay? So, hey, this is absolutely doable. Maybe she did that. Maybe that was what she did from this show. So if she did do that, she's got one of the better wellness structures of the girls we have previewed so far. So there's a lot of ifs because, again, we have not seen these girls on stage, most of them, for quite a while, since last season. So a lot of things can happen when you're off stage. So this will be a very interesting show. And again, we've got a bunch of pro debuts coming in, so we don't have any footage of them next to other pros, but we can say that the quality of pros coming in now is much better than it was just a few years ago. So any one of these pro debuts could come in and do way better than we expect them to. You know, coming in and placing in the top 5 in a pro debut is a phenomenal start. So any one of them could do that. You know, before I give my pick, anybody else want to throw their 2 cents out as far as who they think is going to take this show, who's going to be the top 5, all of that? Anybody want to say? I'm going to pull the list back up again. For me, a lot of things depend on how these girls actually come in. If Sandra comes in with the fullness and the pop that she was told to, or I don't know if she was told, that I'm thinking she needs, then she could very well take this. I do think Cassandra is going to be in the top 2 or top 3. I'm not sure she's going to win it. If Mari comes in and has the improvements that she needs to have, she could win it. Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's hard for me to say who's going to be the top here because we have not seen some of these girls. Like I said, with Joy, we haven't seen Joy on stage in 2 years. So she could have made some really significant changes. You know, Thais is coming into her first real season as a pro, right? Like I said, if Sandra comes in with a little bit of improvement to her physique, she could definitely take this. Cassandra, again, she looks better for her, but the structure is still figure to me. So we'll see if she's able to win this. She could win this. Nicole, I think, is better off suited for women's physique. Also, going back to what you guys were saying about downsizing for Bikini, her waistline is too thick for that as well. I would not put her in Bikini. I would continue to grow her all over, keep that conditioning tight, and go to women's physique. Yeah, as far as structure and wellness structure, I do think that Mari's got the best look. But the fact that her conditioning is as soft as it is, hopefully she did some serious work in her off season. If she did, she could clearly win this. If she did the work that she needed to do, she could win this, right? She's got the wellness shape, she's got the wellness structure, she's got a pretty look, all of that, but she just needs that thickness. So I don't know. There's a lot of ifs here for me. If I'm just going based on what they've put on stage already, I'm going to say Sandra as my winner because she needs the least amount of fixes, if that makes sense. All she really needs to do is get her physique to pop. If she can get her physique to pop, then she's gonna be hard to beat. She's gonna be hard to beat because she has a very, very good look on stage. When she's on, she's really hard to take your eyes off of. So hopefully if she comes in on, this could be her show. This could be her show. Anything else anybody wanted to add? And like I said, I will be live at the show this weekend. So I will be going live here on YouTube. If you haven't seen the actual link yet, it's right here up in the corner. That's that QR code at the top. That is going to the link for the live feed for Saturday. Okay, so that's where it's going to be live streamed from. So just grab that one, click notify me on there, and then you'll know exactly when I go live. Okay, and like I said, make sure you give some love to our sponsors, Prozis, who I get all of my supplementation, food, activewear, all sorts of stuff from. Code is cuties10 for them. Liquid Sun Rayz, all your tanning needs. They even have, if you've noticed, I've put up a few ads for them as far as their everyday tan. They do have an everyday tan product as well, and that's Cuties15 for them. And then if you log on this weekend, we will have a brand new YouTube channel sponsor to shout out and give you some more information on. So with that said, you guys, I hope everybody's having a great week so far. Happy Wednesday. We will do Behind the Bikini tomorrow, so we'll be back on. And we'll see you live on Saturday. Hope you guys join me. I like to do it with other people there because then it's fun. I don't like talking to myself. So So please join me. Even if you're not interested in the results of the show, join me anyway. Come talk to me and keep me company. See our shenanigans there at the show, all of that fun stuff. Put your 2 cents in, everything. And support the show too. Support the show, give them some love, all of that. So I hope you guys have had a great week, and we will see you.